We are off and running, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into the Week 5 live stream for the NFL here on Betting Pros. He is Andrew Erickson. I am Matt Perrault, and with you guys breaking down every game here for Week 5, including the one going on right now over at Tottenham in London. The Vikings don't know what they're doing in this game. They're losing to the Browns, Andrew. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good. Full packed slate of games. We have the Patriots on tonight, so that's always a fun cap off to a hopefully profitable and fun day of Sunday football. So yeah, I mean, Vikings, Browns kicking things off in the morning here. Hopefully the under cashes still, but we'll see how things shake out here in the fourth quarter.
What number did you play from an under perspective?
So after they both scored touchdowns to open the game, I bet the under at 42.5.
I think you're good there. I'll be. This feels like a 37, 20 to 17.
I mean, after they scored a touchdown from a running back pass, I was like, okay, I think this is a little fluky that it's 7-7 after the first quarter. So I was like, all right, let's bet the under.
That's not horrible. I bet the Vikings last week. I laid the 2.5, and there was no way I was getting involved with the Vikings in back-to-back weeks. I was like, I learned my lesson backing Carson Wentz. This has been the full Carson Wentz experience today. He's been hurt. He's gotten banged up. Dylan Gabriel has looked the part up to this point. I mean, I think if I'm a Browns fan, it's kind of like, why wasn't he playing earlier in the season just because he looks efficient? I'm not saying he's going to set the world on fire, but at least he's hitting open receivers. And it seems like Stefanski has got more game plan, more rollout pass options than with Joe Flacco. So I feel like the offense is more efficient and runs better with Dylan Gabriel. So I would be surprised if Gabriel's not the guy, if he stays healthy for the rest of the season, or at least for the foreseeable future for the Browns. But I mean, 17-14, this game looks like the old school games in London, Erickson, when there was no offense and turnovers and just bad football that we're sending over there.
Basically.
So congratulations, London. Enjoy that. Although a big catch for Justin Jefferson. So 11.5 to play, and the Vikings are charging now into Browns territory. We'll keep you up to speed with what's happening with that game. Let's get to the games that will kick off here stateside. The Carolina Panthers are at home against the Miami Dolphins. This number opened up with Carolina being the favorite. Now Miami is the favorite. No Tyreek Hill, but the total now 43.5 at certain books, down from 44.5. I know you like one thing going on with the total, Andrew. Where are you playing this game?
Yeah, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, what do we know is they beat bad teams and they usually don't win on the road. So I just don't have confidence backing either side here. So I'm just going to bet against, I think, two of the top or bottom three defenses in the NFL between the Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. I'm just going to bet for points here. The Panthers offense plays significantly better at home. The Panthers only played one home game all year and they won 30-0. So I don't think that's nothing. I think that when Bryce Young plays on the road, he just plays significantly worse. The offensive line is not that great, but when they're playing at home, I think they do play a little bit better. I like Tetrod McMillan, so I'm going to go with just the game total over and bet against two of the worst defenses.
So this is wild, and it's good that Miami's favored because the Panthers haven't won or covered a spread in which they were favored since September of 2021. That is an unbelievable stat.
Yeah, I mean, and I know last year too, even when Bryce Young was playing better, the one time they were favored against Dallas, they got destroyed.
Since 2020, the Carolina Panthers are 3-13 overall as a favorite. So it depends on how you want to look at favorite versus dog. I mean, it's 1 point, so it's kind of on either side. But Bryce Young 7-25 straight up as a starter in the NFL. I mean, the Patriots took them apart last week. Bryce Young on the road you can't. Bryce Young at home, I guess you might be able to look at this. But what do you make of the Dolphins going forward here without Tyreek? Does this offense run the ball more? Are you looking more for the running backs to have a bigger role from a fantasy perspective or a prop perspective? Where do the Dolphins go without their star wideout?
I think it's just more of Jalen Waddle. I think that Malik Washington, he's been really exciting. They use him a lot as scheme touches. So I think a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage for Malik Washington can make a lot of sense as a rusher and receiver. And we know the Panthers can't stop the run. So I would expect a lot from Malik Washington today as well.
Yeah, another way of playing the game, if you want, is first half unders or first half, take Miami first half money line, because Bryce Young in the first half against the spread is 11-21 in his career. When the first half total is under 20, he's 2-9 against the spread. At 20 or higher, he's 9-12. But Tua is just, I mean, I don't know how you really go ahead and bank it, but Tua is 4-0 away from home on the road. since the start of last season against teams under 500. So they do play against bad teams. They do tend to win these games. So I don't mind laying the 1. I don't mind. I think you're right about the over. I think we see points in this game. Both these defenses stink, but I am not going to be watching much of Miami and Carolina. I will be watching the Dallas Cowboys and the Jets, and I'm actually stunned at this because this number has kind of ping-ponged back and forth, and there's action on the Jets here late. So we're up to 1.5 for the Jets here, who are now favored against the Dallas Cowboys. This number is up to 48 from a total perspective at BetMGM. Most books are at 47.5. I like Dallas to win this game today. Dak Prescott is 6-1 straight up all time at MetLife Stadium, and I just don't think this Jets team's any good. Where are you on Dallas and New York?
Wasn't that because he's always playing the Giants?
True.
He's so good. So I guess for me, I just want to bet against Dallas defense. So I like Terrell's pick. We talked about this on the Best Bets show this week. The Jets team total offensively. So you don't need to deal with any of the Jets defense, Dallas Cowboys offense. You just bet against Dallas, who's given up 24 points in every single game that they've played this season. And if you look at the Jets offensively, they've scored a lot of points with Justin Fields as the quarterback. They've been over their team total in all the specific games. And it's just really just like self-inflicted wounds that have caused the issues for the New York Jets. So I like the team total for the Jets.
This is a wild stat. Justin Fields has made 47 starts in his career in the NFL, 14-33 straight up. When his opponent scores 20 or more points, he's 0-25 straight up, 6-18-1 against the number. When they score 20 or less, he's 14-8 straight up, 13-9 against the number. So this is really going to come down to whether the Cowboys put up 20 points or not on that Jets defense. And I think even without CeeDee Lamb, I think they're capable of doing that. I think Dak's playing at that high of a level. I think he's got enough weapons. Pickens played great last week, and they're coming off of a game in which they tied. They need this win. I mean, the 2-2-1 after 5 weeks isn't great, but 1-3-1, Andrew, puts us into a whole different situation for Dallas, does it not? I mean, look at the Eagles. If they win today, division might be over.
Yeah, the last time I backed Dallas on the road as a favorite after overtime, I got to.
They're the dog now, though. They're the dog now.
They are the dog now?
Yeah, they're the dog now.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I had to pick sides, I'm not picking Fields as a favorite against Dak Prescott. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I like the number. I mean,
that's exactly the opposite of what happened with the Bears game, where they were underdogs throughout the entire week, and the lines flipped to Dallas, and now we're getting the reverse thing. So, yeah, I guess that does actually make me feel better about Dallas. And
I think it also puts it into a teaser perspective where you can take the Cowboys at plus 1.5, tease them up to 7.5.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty, I mean, the number at 47.5 from a total perspective, you're giving one side 7.5 points. That's a pretty good margin there to take the Cowboys in a teaser situation. So I like jumping in on that. Vegas on the road against the Colts. This number now is 7. It opened at 6. Some books have crossed 7. Superbooks here in Vegas is at 7.5. South Point also is at 7.5. ESPN Bet and the rest are at 7 here for this game. I've teased this, Andrew, but I'm also going to play it straight and lay the 7 points here with the Colts. Geno Smith is a disaster right now at the quarterback spot. They don't have either tight end is available tonight. I don't know who they're throwing the football to be quite honest, in this football game. And I know Ashton Genty has looked good, but I think this is going to be a really, really tough spot to run the football on a Colts defense that can be stout at times. Where are you on the Colts and the Raiders?
Yeah, Shane Steichen is the second most profitable coach to bet on when he's a favorite since he became the head coach of the Colts. So I think that this one's pretty easy. And I like the fact that you were just teasing it just in case, because it is a lot of points with it is still Daniel Jones. Like there's always a chance that, again, it's October now. He can turn back into a pumpkin at any time. So, but I like the Colts side here, especially if you're going to tease it down to like Colts, just money line, Colts minus 1.5. So, the Raiders have a ton of offensive line issues. Geno has been throughout his career, pretty good as a road underdog. That's the only thing that has me hesitant a little bit, but I mean, he did beat the Patriots outright in week 1 and they were road underdogs. And I mean, that's basically the last time we saw Geno Smith play good at all this season. And the offensive line, like I said, is dealing with a bunch of injuries. So I like the Colts side here.
The Colts last week had 3 turnovers in Shane Steichen's career as a head coach. The week following one of his teams having 3 or more turnovers, he's 5-2 straight up and 5-2 against the spread. And Daniel Jones, look, you can talk about him all you want, but at home, Daniel Jones has been really good for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor has been tremendous. And look, I'm here in Vegas. There's a lot of people who are concerned about what happens going forward, because Brock Bowers was supposed to be that guy that was going to unlock this offense. And that was going to allow Ashton Genty to have a lot of space in the screen game, in the running game. He scored 3 touchdowns last week, caught 2, ran for another. In terms of like big play weapons, it's what, Jacoby Myers, and that's it. I know you like a prop today on him, right?
Yeah, I did like the prop. I gave it out on the prop show earlier this week, but the line has been beat up significantly since the Brock Bowers injury. So, I mean, now that the best line I can still find is like 63.5. I think I still take the over there, but now it's up to 71.5, 72.5, I think, at a lot of books, where I'm probably just going to shy away. I mean, Myers is not a big play threat for the most part. He is a receptions guy. So if anything, I'd probably just go over on the reception still. I think it's at 6.5 just because there is no Brock Bowers and he is the clear-cut number one. He's a good receiver too. It's also a good matchup against the Colts. But again, that's why you tune into some of these prop shows we do earlier in the week. Jacoby Myers is 53.5. Like, that was the line that we gave out on the show on Friday. So if you hopped on it there, then you're feeling pretty good about the line movement with Bowers being out.
So what, 13 yards, 14 yards higher now? How high is it? It's
20 yards higher. It was 53.5 on the show.
And now it's 73. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because Bowers is out. So like it moves like significantly.
Okay. Wow. That's all right. Yeah. And I mean, I know people who cover the team here in town, and they had said they thought that Brock Bowers was going to play. Like, they were holding him out of practice because they thought, okay, he's going to be able to play. And then both tight ends got ruled out today. And it was like, oh, wait, they're not down just him. They're down both tight ends. So this is an offense that does use their tight ends quite a bit. And we know Chip Kelly likes to find ways to get the football to his tight end. So that's not great. Missed field goal for the Vikings, and now a punt to the 1 for the Browns. We'll see if that ball went into the end zone or not, or if they've backed up the Vikings. 17-14 still. So I think your under's good. I think you're good on that. So we'll see if a last-second Carson Wentz drive happens here to get a win over in London. Denver and Philadelphia. This is a game I can't wait to watch. I haven't bet this game, but I want to see what Denver does going on the road to the Eagles. Number was 4.5, and we haven't seen that much movement. It's 4 or 4.5. The total is down to 40, or I guess up rather, from 42.5 up to 44. Even some books, DraftKings now 44.5. From a total perspective in this one. This feels like it's a big moment for Bo Nix. Does it not? Like, can he go on the road and beat the Eagles? I think would really send a message to the league about his development.
Yeah, I think that this would be a big opportunity for the Broncos to kind of stake their claim as AFC contenders. I know Sean Payton was talking a big game this offseason about how good Bo Nix is going to be. We're going to be this fantastic offense, fantastic team that originally hasn't shaken out. But Sean Payton's teams have traditionally started kind of slow. I know last week I was very much on the Sean Payton week 4. You got to bet on Sean Payton week 4 train against the Bengals, and they took care of business. So we're starting to see this team come into form. Whereas the Eagles, I mean, they're giving their best Chiefs impression from last year, where they just win all these like really ugly games. They don't really cover the spread. They have like one of the worst third down conversion rates this season for a 4-0 team. They're not running the ball effectively with Saquon Barkley. So I think for me, Bo Nix still, it's hard for a player, second-year quarterback, to go on the road at Philly and be really, really productive. Philly still has a lot of key defensive players. You have Jalen Carter. You have the 2 talented secondary guys in the second year, Cooper and Quinjon Mitchell. So I just like the game total going under. I mean, both offenses underwhelming in this spot really wouldn't surprise me. And if I was picking sides, I would take the Broncos with points easy.
This, I agree. This feels like a head fake to me. This feels like the professionals driving the total to the key number of 44 or 44.5. And then I think we're going to see, we haven't seen it yet, but I think we see like late money come in here heavy on the under. I'm really surprised that we've seen this number creep up 2 points or more just because of what you're talking about here. And just the defense is what they're going to look like. The running games, what they're going to look like. There is this narrative about the receiving core for the Eagles that they may have to start throwing the ball a lot more because A.J. Brown is not happy. He wants out, supposedly, but the team has no interest in trading him again. So we're right back to where we were a year ago, having these conversations about A.J. Brown, and our team obviously being linked to that trade possibility because of his connections with the coaching staff in New England. But what do you make of the passing attack for Jalen Hurts in this offense, even if not today, just going forward? How do you handle the fact they have two great wideouts, but they aren't throwing the football?
It's just not how they like to win games. Like, they know that they can sit on the ball, play offensive, bully ball with Saquon Barkley, and I know it has been nearly as effective, but they don't need to necessarily force their hand with those types of approaches. Like, against the Rams, they had to push the envelope a little bit more and it ended up working out, and it was fine. But I don't think that their desired outcome is, okay, we want Jalen Hurts dropping back to throw 40 times a game. Like, that's just not what they want to do offensively. That's not their identity. And as frustrating it is for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and for us in fantasy, it's just like, that's not what the Eagles want to do unless they're forced into doing it. And is this Broncos matchup at home the matchup is going to force them to air it out, especially with Patrick Surtain, like, locking? I mean, he's going to get under A.J. Brown's skin. Like, because he know, like, it's not like they're oblivious to this. Like, they know A.J. Brown's frustrated. So Surtain's going to be like, oh, I'm going to get targets thrown my way today. Like, let's go. I'm going to get some interceptions. So I think if the Eagles try to, like, over address this A.J. Brown thing, they're going to get into trouble. Like, you're going to see the corners waiting for routes because they know A.J. Brown's going to get targeted, which usually isn't the case with Surtain is the cornerback. So I think that Devontae Smith will actually have a decent game here. You know, you just see the number 2 receivers have better games against the Broncos because Surtain is going to be mostly on A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert as well as the tight end over the middle. So I still think, yeah, like, just an underwhelming scoring perspective from both Bo Nix and the Jalen Hurts side of things.
44.5 is a key number, guys. So if you like the under, go search that. You can get over 44. You cross over a 42, 43, 44 are key numbers in total. So if you're going to play the under, 44.5 is in the market. I will go check it out. Vikings are driving, although it looks like a flag just got thrown against them. So they may be going backwards here a bit on this one. So, but 4:55 to play. It depends on the number you laid. I mean, it was 4.5, it was 5, it was down to 3.5. They have the football and they're driving. So we'll see if they can win and cover if you laid 3.5 with the Vikings here, or if we're going potentially to a last second drive or overtime for Dylan Gabriel and the Browns. Guys, this show is being presented by Hard Rock Bet. Week 5 wraps up in Duval between the Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen to these streaks from Hard Rock Bet, their stats hub. How about this? Kareem Hunt has found the end zone in 6 straight October games and has rushed for over 33 yards 8 times in a row on Monday night. Red October could be his season. KC has won a bunch over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The last win for them in Duval in 2009. Patrick Mahomes has thrown for over 272 yards in 7 consecutive Week 5 games. His number is over 250.5. Hollywood Brown has reached the end zone in 5 straight Week 5 games, and Noah Gray has recorded 23 or more receiving yards in 4 consecutive October games. His number is set at 10.5. If you haven't made your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time to do so. To get $150 in bonus bets if you win, just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you not only get your winnings, but also $150 in bonus bets. Plus, tomorrow night on Hard Rock Bet, you get a Monday night parlay boost for the games. There are new promos every day, so you can boost your same game parlays or your SGP max, so your bet pays extra. Check out the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app and make your first deposit today. Let's continue breaking down the 1 p.m., 10 a.m. slate here on the West Coast. Giants and the Saints. Are you still holding strong to the opinion that the Saints are winning this game, Erickson? That the Giants are going to New Orleans and Bourbon Street is going to be a pity party for Jackson Dart and the Giants today?
Yes, I am 100% backing the Saints here. When you look at the trends for rookie quarterbacks early in their careers, they perform a lot better against the spread and straight up when they're playing at home, and they're a bet that you want to make when they're playing on the road. Like, that tends to be the most profitable way to attack these rookie quarterbacks. Jackson Dart, I think, against the Chargers, a little bit more of a surprise. Again, he hadn't played any games. There was only the preseason tape that was on Jackson Dart, so LA didn't really know necessarily what to prepare for. The Saints know what to prepare for. Like, they saw an entire game of Jackson Dart. It's a lot of him running around. There is no Malik Neighbors. Like, he is the best player on the Giants offense, and the fact that they were once favored at one point earlier in the week, now the line's flipped to the Saints being favorites at home. I think that this team is going to rally around Spencer Rattler. This is the one chance this guy could win a football game in his NFL career. He's 0-10 as a starter. Like, come on. They got Taysom Hill back. They got the vibes. I like the Saints here. And it wouldn't surprise me if they win comfortably. Just because I think the Giants. I mean, I'm not going to I saw one game of Jackson Dart. The way that they talked about Jackson Dart, you would have looked up, did he throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns? Like, no, that wasn't anything what he did. He had like one nice drive, scored a rushing touchdown, did a fun dance. And then it was like, all right, well, he's the next Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, Probably not. So I'll fade the hype. Give me the Saints.
So Spencer Rattler's last win as a quarterback in football, forget where, was November 18th of 2023 when he was the quarterback up against Kentucky when he was playing for Oklahoma. List of players to start 0-10 since 1990. And this is where Rattler is 0-10 straight up. He's in the same category as Derek Carr, Brody Croyle, Zach Mettenberger. If he loses this game, he'll be 0-11. It's Stan Galball, whoever heck that is. Deshaun Kaiser still has the record of 0-15, starting off 0-15. As an underdog of 10 points or less, Spencer Rattler is 0-7 against the spread so far here in his career. Chris Olave is one of the guys I like from a prop bet perspective today. I think he gets targeted quite a bit. He's got 185 receiving yards on 43 targets. That's the second most in the NFL entering week 5. So I think he'll have an opportunity to make plays up against this Giants secondary. So I like Olave. How do you like the passing attack here? Is that how they attack the Giants defense?
I think it's actually a lot of the running game that they use. The Giants have been one of the worst run defenses in the NFL this season. We saw the Saints keep pace with the Bills last week because of their run game. They use both Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller. So I think that they just kind of keep back to the basics. They don't force Spencer Rattler to necessarily win the game for them. And then they put Jackson Dart in that situation where he has to be forced making plays off script. And then I think that's going to cause him to make some mistakes. Playing on the road for the first time. We know the Giants have a line still not that good from a blocking perspective. Bad offensive lines tend to not travel as well. Again, the cadence can be loud in that dome. Again, the Giants and Saints all year during schedule releases, this is the game they were circling. Like, we can win this game. Like, this is the game that we can finally win. The Giants got their win last week. So I think this is the time that the Saints get off the schneid, get the first win of the season.
As someone who holds an under 5.5 win ticket for the Giants, I'm all in on you. I'm pulling on your side. I hope you're absolutely right. I want the victory lap. I want the Erickson victory lap publicly, privately, everyone dogging you for taking the Saints. I love it. Go New Orleans. Let's get that W for the Saints. Guys, track your bets and get early line alerts straight to your phone by downloading the BettingPros app. With Sportsbook Sync, automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performances by sport and bet type, including picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users get 6 months of BettingPros Premium free with your first deposit and wager at one of our partner sportsbooks. To learn more, go to bettingpros.com/premium. Let's continue. We go to the late slate, and it's Arizona hosting the worst team in football, that being the Tennessee Titans. This number has crept over 7. I laid it at 7, Andrew. I think the Titans suck. I think when a quarterback says we ass, we listen. I think you got to listen when a quarterback's saying that publicly, that we ass. Okay, I'm fading you, even with Kyler Murray, who stinks covering numbers. I've teased it as well. I've pulled it down to 1. That's my Colts and Cardinals teaser. So both teams -1, but I'm equally going to lay the 7 here. 4-20-1. That is the number as a record of the Titans straight up over their last 25 games. That's the worst record over 25 games in the wild card era. Where are you on the Titans on the road against the Cardinals?
Any opportunity you get a chance to bet against Brian Callahan as the Titans head coach is a gift from the betting gods. Just take it. Like, guys that are on this type of streak that you just listed out, where it's just like you're just printing money, just bet against the Titans every single week. These coaches get fired like very, very soon. The fact that he is still employed by the Titans is just an advantage for everyone watching. Just bet on the Cardinals. I think you talked about it on the show today on the Daily Juice, talking about Kyler Murray. He's like 9-14 against the spread as a 7-point favorite. It's like, that's good enough for me. Like, it doesn't need to be that good. I'm like, it's fine. It's like, it's not like he's like 20%, like 9-14. I mean, he's done it enough times, so I'll take it. Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing. Like, the only spread they covered this year was against the Broncos, and it was the Broncos playing like the single worst game I've ever seen, and they still almost cover an 8.5-point spread. Like, so this one's easy, guys. Just lock in the Cardinals. You don't have to watch it. They're going to find a way. They're going to cover. They'll win by 10 points. So continue to bet against Callahan.
To give you an idea of how bad this team is for the Titans, we've only seen this 4 other times where a 2-2 football team is favored by this much over an 0-4 football team. It's not like it's 4-0 against 0-4. This is 2-2 against 0-4. So the books are like, we don't normally make a team that's got 2 losses already. We don't normally make them a touchdown or more favorite, but it's because it's Brian Callahan. I look, there's 2 coaches that should be fired in the NFL. Brian Callahan is one, and Zach Taylor is the other. Fade them for as long as they have a job. Maybe Joe Burrow comes back next year to save Zach Taylor because the Bengals just can't fire head coaches. They're like the Browns and just hang on to them for as long as they can. But Zach Taylor should be out. And I think Brian Callahan might be out because the fans are so furious. And you have a quarterback who's coming out there and saying things publicly like "we ass." So that's not what you want to have happen if you're Brian Callahan. And he can talk about all he wants, but we have to teach Cam Ward how to say, yeah, Cam Ward's being pretty honest. They're awful because remember, Brian Callahan last week gave up the play calling duties and they scored a grand total of 0 points. So that was a great move by the head coach to say, hey, this guy's going to help us score points. You here call plays. And they scored 0 points against the Texans. So yeah, I'm laying the 7 for the Cardinals. I want to bet Seattle so bad right now. I want to be on this. I want to lay 3. I had a shot at it and I love Tampa. I love Baker Mayfield. I just can't get to the window with Seattle here today at home against a banged up Tampa team. Are you betting this game?
Yeah, I bet the Buccaneers because I bet on Baker Mayfield when he's on the road and he's an underdog, and when everyone's counting him out, and especially when the Buccaneers are banged up. Like, weren't we just talking about how the 49ers are on the road, they're all banged up, they got Mac Jones, they can't win, and then they just win outright.
Right.
And now I get to back Baker Mayfield, who plays with more moxie than I think any other quarterback in the NFL. Like, he thrives in this spot. Like, count me out. Like, I'm going up against my old Carolina Panthers teammate, Sam Darnold. Do you think I'm going to stand down to this guy? No. He's got it. I get Bucky Irving's out. Mike Evans is out. I get all those things. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can do one thing on defense well, and that's stop the run. Seattle is one of the most run-heavy teams offensively. So, yes, Sam Darnold's been really efficient this year. Well, you look a lot more efficient when you're not throwing the ball that much, and you're always delivering the ball to JSN. So, I think that if Tampa Bay can slow down the Seattle offense rushing attack, force Sam Darnold into mistakes, you get 1 or 2 big plays from Baker Mayfield with his legs, with his arm. I think the Buccaneers can win outright. So I'm back in the Bucs, especially when they're now plus 3.5. I was seeing some plus 4.5s out there as well. So I like Tampa Bay here.
So I never advocate 7-point teasers because most likely you're going to pay 130 or 135, but Baker Mayfield as a dog with the Bucs is 15-8 against the spread, covering by an average of 5.6 points. When Baker starts, the Bucs are 21-2 in a 6-point teaser when listed as a dog. That's an insane number. So if they do lose, they don't lose by much. I bring up the 7-point teaser because 3.5 on one side to plus 3.5, or I guess you could tease them I guess you could take them a 6-point teaser. You can go from 3.5 to 9.5 if you want with a 6-point teaser. 21-2 is 21-2. So that if you're looking at teasing games, I think that's the thing to jump in on is to give them 9.5 points, and they'll probably be in the game late and really have a chance to do some damage here and maybe even win the game outright. I can't get there. I want to bet Seattle. I have nothing on this game. I can't bet it just because I'm all in on the Bucs. I have my biggest preseason bet was on the Bucs to win the NFC West, and they've been doing really well for me so far. A win in Seattle would be extra. That's just bonus if they get a win against Seattle, given how banged up they are until they get Mike Evans coming up back. Detroit is on the road against Cincinnati, and the number is coming down. Opened at 7.5. Bet up to 10.5 at DraftKings, but here in Vegas, you're seeing money on the dog. 9.5 now at Circa, 9.5 at Superbook, 9.5 at South Point. Any shot this game gets into a complete laugher for the Bengals, or do you think that this Bengals team can play and keep it within a 2-score game?
I do. I actually like the Bengals here. One of my process plays is I always take double-digit home dogs. Like when it was at 10.5, I was give me the Bengals. Like it's just a lot of points for a home team. And you look at Jake Browning historically, even in 2023, he's 6-1 at home. Like he's a much better quarterback playing at home than he's on the road where he's 1-7. And the last 2 matchups have been really tough. On the road against Denver, on the road against Minnesota. It's possible that if Joe Burrow was the quarterback, the Bengals offense would have sucked in those games too. Like, they're really two matchups. So now I just think the pendulum has swung too far into, okay, we got to fire Jake Browning. He's terrible. Again, I'm not the biggest Zach Taylor guy either. And I don't think that you're wrong about how he's really underwhelming. And this team is so dependent on Joe Burrow, but it is 10.5 points. They are at home. This is a trap game for me because you know who the Lions play next week on Sunday Night Football? The Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, wow.
Like this is like, to me, like this is like, do I think the Bengals win? Like, no, but is it a total like, oh, Lions just score 50 points? Like, no, I think it's a shootout. I think both teams score points here, but I think that the Bengals offense is going to pop up here. Jamar Chase, he's one of my favorite bets this week. His numbers are suppressed all over the board. 62.5 receiving yards. Last time he played at home with Jake Browning, played the majority of that game, he had 165 receiving yards. Like, I love all the Jamar Chase. I think this is a major bounce back. We're getting so many questions with fantasies. Like, oh, what do I do with Jamar Chase? Do I bench Jamar Chase? Like, no. Like, not on God's green earth will I bench Jamar Chase. When the Lions are down one of their starting cornerbacks this week, DJ Reed is out. Terrion has been on the injury report all year long with different injuries. So Jake Browning knows where his bread is buttered, and his name is Jamar Chase. He's going to get fed in this game. They're playing at home. The offensive line can play a little bit better in front of the home crowd. I like the Bengals.
Some of these numbers are unbelievable. So in the first 3 months of the season, Zach Taylor, September, October, November, when Zach Taylor has Joe Burrow as his quarterback, he is 27, 27, and 1. When anyone else besides Zach Taylor, or besides Joe Burrow, plays quarterback for Zach Taylor, he is 0 and 15 straight up, losing by an average of 13.7 points per game. Not just losing, they get throttled. They get blown off the field when they don't have Joe Burrow playing quarterback. And I like Jake Browning. I like your logic. I do. 10.5 points is a nuts number. I think teasing the game, if you get 9.5 or to 9 and you tease it down to 3, I don't mind that at all here for the Lions just to go in there and get a win because the Lions have been so damn productive and so good against the number. I mean, after covering last week, Detroit is now 50, 21, and 1 against the spread since the start of the 2021 season. I mean, they've just been a stupid, profitable team to bet on, but we're betting on them 10 points on the road in the NFL. Haven't we learned this yet, by guys? This is not smart in the NFL. They pay their players too, whether they're backups or not. So I could see both sides. I can see an absolute blowout, but I also could see a game where we're going, are you kidding me? The Lions, you're going to lose to the Bengals? Like, how in the world do you lose to the Bengals? So this is the NFL. I've seen this story before, and teams at home this year in the NFL, it's a historic run right now in terms of straight up wins. Like, it is hard to win on the road.
We're going to see who the real king of the jungle is, the tiger or the lion.
Look at you. We got 54 seconds to play in the red zone. 1st and 10 Vikings with cracks at the end zone, and the Browns are out of timeouts now. So the Vikings are sitting, I think, on the 10-yard line here, trying to punch in the game-winning touchdown. If you're holding a 3.5 ticket on the Vikings, you are sweating big time right now, but they're in field goal range. So it looks like we're going to overtime or the Vikings getting a huge win late, in the Browns defense, unfortunately, not being able to stop Carson Wentz, which is a weird thing to say, but so far so good here in the fourth quarter. The Washington Commanders are on the road against the LA Chargers. The number has dipped below 3 now. Everyone likes Washington. I haven't bet it, but I like the Chargers. If I was going to bet it, I'd bet the Chargers. I know Jaden Daniels coming back. I know the offense is totally different with him, but isn't this a bounce back spot for the Chargers after what's not been a very good 2-week stretch for them?
Yeah, I think that makes sense that the Chargers would bounce back here, but I just think that the Jaden Daniels factor is really hard to capture and handicap because, well, how effective is he going to be? Like, is he going to be back to what he's doing? Because if he's like back to like superstar rookie, it's like, oh yeah, give me Jaden Daniels with the points. Like, that's just the easy bet to make. But there's hesitance because I just don't know how he's going to look. What I'm actually most confident about is that I don't think that he's going to run as much. We saw him get banged up last year. He had a rib injury. The next 4 games, he was under 8.5 carries in every single game. He never had more than 7 carries. So that's one of my better bets for props is Jaden Daniels under 8.5 rushing attempts. I think that they're going to call less like design rushes for him. Now, he's a competitor, so he's going to scramble when he wants to. But from a play calling standpoint, they know he's their franchise. Like, he matters. That's all that matters. Like, this team is so old, except for Jaden Daniels. Like, he is so important that they're not going to call in, useless run plays that they don't have to when they could. Let's dump it off to the running back. Let's not get you hurt. So I like Jane Daniels going under 8.5 carries.
Touchdown, Jordan Addison for the Vikings. So they are up by 4 now with 25 seconds to play. So if you laid 3.5, you're good. If you took the 4.5 or 5 for the Browns, you should also be good, barring one of these ridiculous throw the ball around and pick it up and run it in for a touchdown late situations, which we have seen before. But it's not field goal range for Dylan Gabriel. They need a touchdown with 25 seconds. They do have they use all their timeouts, so they have no timeouts. And then he had touchdown. So this is pretty much all she wrote here for the Browns, and the Vikings will get a much needed win. And if you laid the late number of 3.5, you should cover here for the Vikings on the road. So that's pretty big with that. Before we get to the Patriots and the Bills, one more reminder that you guys can score 6 months of Betting Pros Premium for free. Just make a deposit and place your wager at a partner sportsbook. Premium gives you access to our sharp AI tools, our betting systems, the prop bet cheat sheet, and the same game parlay builder, and more. All the tools you guys need to make you a smarter, better. Claim your upgrade now by going to bettingpros.com/premium. Patriots and the Bills. Look, I am on the Patriots, but officially for the Daily Juice, I think the first half number is juicy at 5.5. I haven't seen if it's moved to 6 or not yet from a first half spread perspective. It is still 5.5. So it's coming down actually. So there you go. It's down to 4.5 in the first half at FanDuel, at Circa, at Caesars. I got 5.5 last night for the Patriots in the first half. Drake May's 2-0 against the Bills and Josh Allen. I'm not saying the Pats win this game, but is this a close football game? Are we staying up late on the East Coast to watch the Patriots and the Bills?
Yeah, this game gives me 4 like range outcome type of vibes where I think the Patriots optimism in me is like, yeah, man, they can like go to Buffalo, keep it close. Like the thing with Buffalo is like when everyone expects them to kill a team, it's close. And then when they think it's going to be close, they just kill the team. Like it's like the total opposite of what actually the last 2 weeks, Buffalo, like massive spreads north of 11, 12 points. And both games, like Dolphins were in it. The Saints were in it. So I think for me, I think the Bills might win by like 10 points, which is what concerns me about taking the Patriots with the spread. I like the game total over because you have Josh Allen, who in the Bills, they score 30 points basically every single home game they play.
Yeah.
They score at least 30 points. Christian Gonzalez being back matters significantly, but he can only take away one guy. And the Bills love to spread the ball out. So, okay, Keon Coleman to the shadow realm, great. Well, they have like 12 other guys that can score points. So that doesn't really help them. And Drake May I think he's the next Josh Allen. So I think that he's going to score points as well. So I like the game total going over 48.5 or 49.5, or wherever it is. And then for a prop, Travion Henderson to go longest rush over 8.5 yards. No team has given up more rushes of 10 plus yards than the Buffalo Bills this season. They've given up 24 rushes of 10 plus yards. Travion Henderson is the most explosive running back on the Patriots, and his longest rush is listed at 8.5 yards. He's going to get at least one 10-yard run. Like I would be very, very shocked if that doesn't happen. So give me points, and I'll root for my Patriots. And then if they come up short and the Bills score like 40 points, I won't feel dumb because I'm like, well, I got the over because I've just seen what Josh Allen can do, and like this Patriots defense is not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, I think the Patriots. I like your play. Your total for the over. I like the team total, which was 29.5 last night for the Bills. I like that over. The Patriots. I just think the Bills defense is the one thing that I don't really believe in, and I don't know how good it is. And the Patriots, like talking about, if Henderson runs, I think it could be a big Ramondre Stevenson game for the Patriots to run the ball. I know he's not Derrick Henry, but we saw what the Ravens were able to do against the Bills defensive front with a big, powerful back. So if they copy something similar and get the ball to Stevenson in the open field, I think he could do some damage here. Drake May, I don't think he does. And they're going to talk about this the entire broadcast, that if Drake May completes 75% of his passes and throws for 2 touchdowns, he will tie Tom Brady for the NFL record for the 5th consecutive game doing that. Brady did that in 2007. I don't think he does that here today. If he does, that would be amazing. And the Patriots will be in the football game if Drake May is able to complete 75% of his passes. But this is a big moment for both the quarterback and the coach to say, this is the king of the castle. Can you go and compete? Can you be competitive, or do you get destroyed? And I think you're right to have that spidey sense kick off and go, the Bills kill people in prime time. And this could be really ugly. Like, I'm not arguing anybody that says lay the 8 points, lay the 8.5 points, even 7.5 points now, that this game is going to be an absolute destruction of the Patriots defense because it's not very good. I'll give you that. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, Sunday Night Football, Josh Allen, he's 32-4 straight up as a favorite of 7 points or more in the NFL. Like, that's stupid. Like, yeah. 32-4.
And the Patriots have played literally nobody good.
Fair.
And like, if you look at the rest of their schedule, it's like laughable. Like every other, like the next good opponent they play is the Bills. Like when they play them in like week 15 or 16. So yeah, the Patriots are going to win a lot of games because they have a really easy schedule, which we knew coming into the season. But yeah, I think this is a big litmus test. I mean, as a Patriots fan, I just want them to look like they belong in some capacity. Like, okay, like Drake May is, I mean, if it's just a Drake May, like coming out party and they go and they lose a shootout, like I'll take, because all that matters is Drake May the guy. And so far through 4 games, he looks like the guy.
Let's give your full card out, Erickson. What are you playing today if anybody missed it earlier in the show?
Yeah, Sal, if you want to pull up the card. So I like the Saints on the money line. I like the Bengals catching 10.5 against the Lions. And then I'm just backing the Buccaneers. I think that they win outright against the Seattle Seahawks. I love my Buccaneers when they're road dogs. Baker Mayfield, that's where he thrives. Dolphins and Panthers going over the total at 43.5. Just bet against 2 of the worst defenses in the NFL. A couple of my props, Jaden Daniels going under 9.5 carries. I think it's at 8.5 as well. I like both numbers. Rashad White under 14.5 carries. Bucky Irving is out, but I do think that we're going to see some other running backs work in. Sean Tucker, I think he's going to get some carries. And the Seattle Seahawks just have a suffocating run defense. So I really think Rashad White's going to be more effective as a receiver than not necessarily as a rusher. We talked about Jacoby Myers already. This prop's kind of dead now just because the line's been moved up so much. But I'll give another one instead. My touchdown bet. David Montgomery to score an anytime touchdown again. He's going against the Bengals. Their defense is terrible. And there's a lot of hype around David Montgomery. This is like a homecoming game for him.
Yeah.
Apparently he played high school football in Cincinnati. He's never been back to Cincinnati since. And apparently his like paralyzed sister is going to be watching him play football for the first time. Like, that's a narrative that Dan Campbell, if they're going to score 30 points, like Dan Campbell's going to get Dave Montgomery a touchdown. I think it'll happen. If you want a better odds, and this is something that Joe Pisapia does all the time, I think it's super sharp, is first half touchdown, Dave Montgomery. Like, if they're going to get him a score, they're going to get it to him right off the bat. So I like Montgomery to score a first half touchdown. You can get that at plus money. Jamar Chase, talked about him. I just think this is a monster bounce back game for him. 165 yards last time he played at home. And the Lions are down one of their starting corners. So Chase over 62.5 receiving yards. And then Bo Nix over 15.5 rushing yards. Bo Nix has his splits when he's an underdog versus a favorite, he goes over his rushing prop like 80% of the time when he's an underdog. They just cut him loose. And Sean Payton knows that. Like, hey, we need to use your legs a little bit more when we're trailing, trying to catch up. So Bo Nix over 15.5 rushing yards against the Eagles is my last player prop.
The final is in. Vikings win. They cover the closing number of 3.5 over in London, 21-17, the final. So your under comes in here. The game closed, I think, closely to 40. It was 36 at one point, and then it was bet up. So if you bet the basement on the over, you cash. But if you bet the under 36, you lost. Fell 38. So kind of a middling opportunity depending where the pros were. The books, I don't think you're going to like that from a total perspective. That probably hurt. It probably will leave a mark for the books.
Benefits of live betting, which worked for me. I was like, sweet, 42.5. Let's take the under.
Take that. For me today on my card, I'm going with the Cowboys laying 1.5. That number has flipped. It's now plus 1.5. So you can get it even better. You want to get the Cowboys involved in a teaser today. We'll take a look at long teasers here in 1 second before we get out of here. I like the Colts laying 7 against the Raiders. I think they're in real trouble here. I think Geno Smith and company, you've got a bounce back spot for Indy at home, and the Colts just at home are a much different animal than the Raiders on the road. Even though they beat the Patriots in week number 1, I think that offense is going in the wrong direction. No Brock Bowers, no Myers, Mayer, excuse me. Both tight ends being out for the Raiders. I like the Cardinals. The Titans are the worst team in football. I'll lay the 7 here with that. I'm also going to tease both those teams down. 6-point teasers, Colts -1, Cardinals -1. And then the first half, Patriots at plus 5.5. Like we talked about, I think the Patriots can keep the game close in the first half. Second half might get ugly. So I want to stay away from the Patriots in the adjustments that the Bills may make at halftime. I like the Patriots at plus 5.5 in the first half. I like Mark Andrews. I know you had a backup quarterback situation going on, but when you have backups playing, I think they look to tight ends a lot, trying to get them to football. So I think Mark Andrews has a big game. Then I like Chris Olave to go over on his receiving yards here for the Saints. I'm with Andrew. I'm pulling on here for the Saints to get a W over the Giants. It would be a riot to see this as the first win for Spencer Rattler up against the Giants. Jackson Dart is not going to be a secret anymore. We got game film like Andrew talked about. So let's see what the Saints can do. They played well at Buffalo last week. Let's see if they can keep rolling here with that. On the way out, if you guys are looking for long teaser opportunities, the total is 47 now. So you can take the Cowboys up to plus 7.5. And I love that. And then you can play around with all these teams that are at 7.5. You can take the Colts down to 1.5 if you want. You can take, let's see, you can take the Baltimore Ravens at home up to 8.5. How do you feel about that? Did we skip Houston and Baltimore? I think I skipped Houston and Baltimore. My mistake on that. We didn't talk about that yet. How would you feel about Houston or about the Ravens catching 8.5 at home today against the Texans?
I don't feel good about it. I mean, is it like what Ravens team
are going to kill? The Texans are going to kill the Ravens by double digits?
No, because the Texans don't kill anyone unless the other coach is Callahan.
Right? Who did the Texans ever kill? Their offense is broken.
Even last week, they were winning 6-0. It should have been 6-6 heading into the fourth quarter. They end up winning 26-0. Yeah, I think process-wise, that does make sense because like the Texans don't blow people out. So yeah. Oh, whoa. Right.
You're right. What happened?
I'm good. Backdrop fell down.
Everything's falling. Oh no, we'll get out of here on this. Long teaser if you want it. The Baltimore Ravens plus 8.5 and the Dallas Cowboys plus 7.5. There's your long teaser if you guys want it on the way out here as we kick off in 10 minutes. He's Andrew Erickson. I'm Matt Perrault for Sal in the back. Thank you for being here. Next week, week 6, right back here for the NFL live stream for Betting Pros.
Maybe a telltale sign that the Texans Ravens game is a stay away. Maybe the reason we skipped it and the reason we start talking about my backdrop automatically falls on me.
Calms down. Everything starts crashing down. Oh no.